Me, I am a memoir. I am a memoir. Going deep in the regular verse. Going to the regular regular.
I don't want to be here.
Oh, you love it here. Stop complaining.
It's just going on and on. This is the project that never ends.
Hello, Lamely.
Hello, Lamely. We are here. Back in
Land.
Yeah, that's the podcast. Regularverse. And we promise we are wrapping up the greatest love story ever told. This week. We cannot go any more weeks on it. It's going to kill us.
Is there any more of the Zac Efron Nicole Kidman spare skin flashlight in this episode, or are we done with it?
Oh my god, I can't. Oh, poor Nicole. I don't even know how we continue to get even more revolting. At this point, we've scraped the barrel so hard we found Nicole Kidman's extra flesh.
We did.
That's
It's
quite a barrel.
Maybe that's one of the things that J-Lo was freaked out about.
Wait, where? What?
She's freaked out about so many things in this. Like, she's dealing with a lot of trauma. And maybe there's
she's also freaked out about Nicole Kidman's face.
Maybe there's a trauma around Nicole Kidman's spare skin fleshlight. Are you excited about all this trauma?
Trauma. Generational trauma. I am excited for Freaky Friday too.
Oh, that is exciting.
That is exciting.
There's less jeopardy though now that they're both adults.
I know, but I think there might be a grandchild.
Have you ever seen the original Freaky Friday?
No, is that Jodie Foster?
He's Jodie Foster.
Yeah, I haven't.
I saw it at the cinema. I'm that old.
Yeah,
I was like, I remember I was so traumatized because I loved Jodie Foster. I was so traumatized by her driving a car because clearly she couldn't. She's too young. No. But then she was suddenly dumped in the car because the body swap re-swapped at the end.
Yes.
And I freaked out and cried and had to be taken home.
Poor Jodie.
I think I was 5. Like, I was obsessed with Jodie Foster when I was 5. Really? I was a baby lesbian.
Yes, absolutely. I think I still am a baby lesbian. Really.
You are very much a baby lesbian.
Yeah. Oh my god! All right, we distracted ourselves enough with good movies.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Should we dive?
All right, let's go back into the greatest love story.
Yes.
Never
to get
told.
the low down on the down low. Fabnopsis. I'm not even singing it. Just Fabnopsis.
Should I do a recap? No. We'll just jump into wherever we're up to.
Jump in.
Okay.
Getting the low down on the down low.
So after she begs Jane Fonda to please be in her movie in the saddest, most pathetic way possible, Ben starts talking about the last time they broke up. Like, she hasn't been through enough trying to beg Jane Fonda to be in a movie. And he's like, it was the scrutiny that did him in, and he wanted to say this time, I don't want a relationship on social media. But then he realized, or was told, that would be like marrying a boat captain and saying, I don't like the water. What I really like is the cardigan he's wearing in this scene. It's really sweet. It's quite... But I'm like, oh yeah, you like, that was a negotiation over, I don't want to be on the internet all the time. Then Jen's rehearsing the rebound dance and explains that being in a rebound relationship is like living in a glass house and it's going to shatter. And I'm glad she explained that because I fucking didn't know what any of that was about in that scene.
Do you know what? This whole rebound section, weirdly, I found, not the Jensplaining part of it,
no,
but the rest of it, I found to be far more affecting than the actual part in the actual movie.
In fact, I found so many, like I've cut out a lot of, Jen-splaining or Dave-splaining of what happens in the movie. And it makes much more sense when you hear them talk about it, which is a problem because it should have been apparent in the film that they made.
Yeah.
But like them explaining, this is because of that and that's because of that. I'm like, is that what that was meant to be getting at? I didn't get that.
And I just found because, they were showing footage from the rehearsal of Rebound and then the filming of it. Some of it had the glass, some of it was the green screen. Yeah. And there was just something about, it was way more sparse. And Jen was sort of talking about, some of her own life stuff over it. And I was like, this works. Like, it's really simple, but I get it. And it makes it sound like something I really want to watch.
Yeah.
But then when you watch it, it just doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, like I'm glad she explained it. It still doesn't make sense to me, but I'm glad she explained it. Then she's trying on ripped clothes and then rehearsing, getting scratches put on her. And then they're filming in the green studio. And while the violent dance is happening, Jen is taking the blame for an abusive relationship, which is a terrible message to send. Awful, awful message to be sending. Yeah, it's my fault he was physically abusive. No, Jen, that was not your fault.
No.
Like, I feel
Jen
like
needs a real therapist, not Fat Joe.
Yeah, I think Fat Joe is sending her some terrible, terrible messages. Like,
Yes.
Like, there's so much therapy talk in this, and she is not anywhere close to where she thinks she is emotionally.
Yes. Yeah, there's an intellectual understanding of it, but not an emotional understanding of it. And it's like she understands but doesn't believe it yet, in a way. It's like, I have information, but I've got the information.
Like, no, I've done all the therapy, so I'm fine. And it's like, I don't think you are. I think you've just done all the therapy. Doesn't mean you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jen says she's never been beaten up, but she has been manhandled, hit, and a couple of unsavory things, which we know means a double DP.
I don't know if it's that unsavory now. I feel like it's pretty par for the course.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few
I have been trying to get it out back onto the dating scene, and I mean, it used to be like a kiss at a wristy and you'd go to sleep. Now it's like, you say hello with a fist.
Yeah,
like it's wild.
It's
like, no, not for me. No shame in it, but not for me.
I've seen it mostly on Twitter, but they seem to be getting a couple up there all the time. Constantly.
I'm worried.
Yeah. But yeah, unsavory things, I suspect, is perhaps, guns being thrown out of limousines. Who knows?
Right.
Or similar. But yeah.
I almost wonder if, because this whole process, she's so adamant about it. And she thinks she's really telling us something.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that actually is her not quite ready way, like the gun scene when the gun falls out of old mate. That's her trying to say it, but she's just not there yet.
I mean,
so she's like,
we've seen him behaving abominably.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, it's not like he only reserved that behavior for one person.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is like, it's almost like she thinks she's addressing something, but subconsciously the trauma is like, I'm going to find a way out.
Yeah.
And it's because she's not fully aware, it's coming out in this messy, not quite the true depth kind of way, but it's like, oh, it's in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It's yuck. Anyway, on the back of all this, weirdly, there's a cute scene between Ben and Jen having a cuddle in the back of the unit truck, and he's reassuring her that it's going to be okay. She does some dance rehearsal for Mud. And then it's green screen Mud time. Then on set, Jen fucks the choreography. Oh, Jen. Then there's more dancing on the green screen. The director wants to know how many she can do, and she doesn't know. And she realizes she's much older and came to singing later than all the other 22-year-old dancers, and she can't keep up.
whole scene was actually one of my favorites, to actually see her muck up,
Yep.
because she's always very much about being polished.
So perfect and polished all the time.
Yes. And then also to see her go, oh, fuck yeah, I am older.
Yeah.
That's actually, I liked that, because I was like, yeah, we all look at you and wonder how the fuck you do it.
Yeah.
And you see how hard she can be on herself with this. And it's like, she doesn't understand that what she is doing is still better than most 30-year-olds.
Yeah, I know.
Like, in terms of the energy and the performance. Like,
Yeah.
But you hope somewhere, you're like, I hope it hurts a little bit, because it hurts me.
This
that
is
you
the
can do
thing
it.
that I think the problem is. So she's 50. Well, she's 55 now, isn't she?
Mid-50s, something.
She thinks she looks 22. She's written herself as a 28-year-old. But it is tiring being in your 50s. Like, I can speak from experience. It's hard. Like, things are harder than they were 20 years ago. Like, you take longer to recover from illness. You take longer to recover from injury. Like, everything is just a little bit harder than it was 20 years ago. And I think because she thinks she looks 22, she is on some level 22.
Yeah.
So she's behaving like she is, and then just having that reality brought home to her in that moment of like, I can't do all of these scenes.
Yeah.
And I could have 30 years ago, but now I can't. Then she's dancing in the rain, and then on the pedals, and then cut. At which point Ben starts saying she doesn't have anything left to prove. She has a little back rub and vows to do nothing this weekend, which is a bit rich because she was meant to be at Batfleck's premiere and she didn't turn up. What a mole. She says she's sad and she has a cry about it. She has a real meltdown.
I feel like that was the one genuine cry.
Yeah.
Was in the gym where you can say, oh, she's tired.
She's really tired, and she has like that meltdown about not being good enough at anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really full on.
That's the first time I'm like, oh, I believe you.
Yeah.
Like, and that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
This is why you're doing all of this.
Yeah, this is why you won't stop, because you think you're shit at everything. And then to distract her from this meltdown, Elaine tries to get in one of Jen's torture machines. Sorry, her gym equipment.
Yeah.
Elaine getting it.
Again. Elaine, my favorite thing about Elaine in this moment is she's like, a lot of celebrities in this kind of, documentary would then be placated. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, poor Jen, oh, it'll be okay. And she's like, what's this?
Yeah.
Like, someone's just going to distract. It's fine.
How does this thing work? I'm going to have a go at it.
Yeah, great.
And then I love that. I love that Jen gets in and goes, "You just do this," and it's like, that looks fucking hard.
Like your abs would die.
Yeah,
actually.
Jen's just like, "Oh yeah, casually just doing this," and then Elaine's like, "Whoa, okay, that's enough of me. It's too much." Then Jen tells us she enjoyed her own company and being alone. And I don't believe her for 1 second. This is the least believable thing she said in this entire documentary. Oh, yeah, I'm happy being alone.
I loved it.
It was really good at
great.
it. Yeah, great at being alone.
That 3.5 minutes was refreshing.
Yes. Then she does her inner child therapy on the green screen with the actual child. And she says her biggest fear is failing at being a parent, which is a bit rich given that her kids are about a year from getting their license.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, if you failed,
also,
it's happened.
I will say, the scene where she was rehearsing with the little girl.
Yes.
And just doing a line reading. Fuck. I was like, that was good.
Yeah.
Like,
great.
I was like,
I know.
Wow. It's almost hard to believe when you then get these moments of, oh God, I don't believe that you were.
Yeah. It's almost like she's so good at acting, she doesn't know how to be a person.
Kind of.
Like, it's like, oh, she doesn't know what this character is or how to portray them. So it's just
and maybe
constant fakery. That's what my life is.
Again, it's like, that's exactly right. She's buried herself in all of these relationships and or jobs and never actually figured out who she is.
Yeah. There's like, I had a lot of very many uncomfortable moments in this, but not for the reasons I think the Jen or the director thought that they were uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it's the last week of shooting, finally, and she's making her radiation suit moment. Again, all in green screen. Then Jane Fonda is in costume. She does not understand the script. Then she's freaking out about Ben looking furious at the Grammys.
Yes.
And then my favourite
She's
moment.
just like us.
Yeah, she's just like us. My favourite moment when Jen explains what thirsty means to Jane, and Jane says, "Oh, so you."
Like you. And in that way that everyone's nan would say it without any
no judgment, but
awareness
just like,
of feelings.
oh, so like what you do. Yeah.
Factual, yes.
Yeah. You know, people who post themselves in like hardly any clothes on the on Instagram and so, oh, yeah, you do that. That's so you. Yeah, you're thirsty. I get it.
Have we also had the part already about happy endings?
Have we?
I can't remember. So much happens in this movie where nothing happens.
So much happens where nothing happens.
But it's when, Sofia Vergara, I think.
Yeah.
Is it Sophia?
Is and happy endings?
Like, what's a happy ending? And Jen has to go into it.
Oh, no, it's Kiki Palmer. She's
Kiki
explaining
Palmer.
happy endings
Yes.
and being double. Like, it's not a double entendre because it's not really well written. So having, again, if you have to tell someone the joke, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But that's this entire movie, I suspect. It's a lot. So it's so weird. Jen and Jane have a nice little confessional moment with each other, which is sweet. Ben asks her what success means to her. At this moment, I realised that Ben has been the one asking the questions while she's been in this Q&A made-up moment. And I'm like... Yeah. Why have I only just worked that out now? Like, this is badly made movie. But yeah, he's like, what does success mean? And she's just like, just doing it, you know? And she seems on the verge of tears in this moment. Like, she is every second fucking moment in this entire thing. Like, why is she always about to cry? She's hard work. She is a hard work woman. She's a hard-working woman who is also hard work to be around. Yes. Then she's doing the dance scene from the wedding that isn't her wedding, but is somehow all about her. The wedding at the end, her friend's wedding, her friend's heterosexual wedding. That was a huge shock.
Right, doesn't make sense.
Then Ben comes and kisses her, and I'm like, was that in the movie and they cut it out? Or was he just coming over to give her a cuddle at the end of the shoot? I don't know what's happening here.
I think he appears as like a mirage at the end.
I don't know. Anyway, Ben asks if she's forgiven him, and she says she needs to be forgiven too. Oof.
Deep.
It's deep. Then they have the big final day.
I think it was she needs to forgive herself. I think.
Like there's a lot of forgiving going on. They have the big final day of shooting. Jen thanks everyone and says how special the film is and that it tells a special story about love in a really incoherent and fucked way. Then Ben asks if she sold the movie, and she did. We know because we watched it. And Ben says he's not really in the movie or the making of, even if it seems like he is. He's not really. He's obviously having a mental health moment, and let's not shame him for that. Okay, let's just try.
We have shamed everyone for everything thus far.
Let's try and have some understanding for him thinking somehow this isn't going to be in the movie, and nothing he's said or contributed is in the movie, even though he wrote part of it and he was asking the questions off camera and on camera, answering for them. But he's not in the movie. I mean, I think what he was trying to get at, like, and unsuccessfully, was that the other movie is not about him, and he thought it was.
Yeah.
But he is in that movie because he plays the right-wing shock jock.
Yes.
And he's in this movie because he's saying, I'm not in the movie while he's in the movie. Yeah. It's a very strange moment, and it's not very clear, but I think that's what he meant.
I think what he means is none of this is my fault. This is not my movie. I'm not in it.
When he says I'm not in the movie,
you
it means
understand?
like there's nothing of me that is contributed
Yes.
to whatever the fuck this
No.
mess is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
no,
get
so
that.
I'm not in it. You hear? You understand? I'm not in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
J-Lu gets the last words, telling us that with aging comes wisdom. And we see how they pasted the movie in over the green screen, and it is really convincing, except that bit where she's walking at the Castle Hill train station and she's floating about 10 feet off the ground, like Jason Derulo in Cats. Then Jen hugs one of her kids. Oh my God, they exist. Then she hugs Ben. She does some makeup. Then the twins are having their 15th birthday. This feels really shoehorned in. Then Neil deGrasse Tyson tells us we're all stardust. Then Fat Joe goes on about art again, and I want to yell. Jen says she's proud of making something good with her life, and I'm like, have you seen it? Then the end
She means
credits.
this podcast.
End credits have yet another song that is sung by someone who can sing. Andrea Martin belting out "I Still Love You," which is a song I've never heard, but I fucking love it. It is.
Now, is this Andrea Martin, the actress?
No,
'Cause I hope
different,
it is.
different Andrea Martin. She's
Damn
no
it.
longer with us, this Andrea Martin.
No.
She's doing whistle tones in this song over the end credits. And I want to know what kind of shade this is meant to be and who it's coming from. Like, I don't understand the choice of the song unless the director fucking hated her and knew that there was beef with her, and Mariah was like, I'm going to play the most Mariah song I can find that's not a Mariah song over the end credits and see how she feels about that. Fucking pain in the ass bitch that's been making my life a misery for the last 3 months making of her fucking terrible movie. And then Amazon, like some kind of drug pusher, tries to make me watch this. This Is Me Now again. I fucking turned off the television and tried to throw it out the window.
Are we going back into that now? Is that what's happening?
It's like Inception again and again and again. Just watch them both on a loop.
Yes. And then have to listen to the album.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the movie. Oh, it's been a slog.
I have a couple of notes that we didn't get to, but thankfully they're short.
Yeah, good.
Because overall thought, I feel like we've really injected it with our overall thoughts already.
Yes, many thoughts.
When it started and she had that opening narration and she was talking about I've been married 4 times and you know, all of that stuff I said was kind of bullshit. I was like, ooh, we're getting the lid lifted. Like, even though the movie was not about her, maybe this is really going to be about her.
Yeah.
And she's going to actually be like, this is the real story.
Yes.
You know, that's my artsy fartsy version, but this is what really happened. And then nope, none of that happens.
None of that happened.
It sounded promising. Of everything, you know, all of the funny, hilarious parts are my favorite, are still my favorite. But my actual favorite part was honestly just watching her dance. Just watching her do what she's actually really good at is.
But that was
interesting
all
and
so
fun
much better
and-
in the actual movie because it was properly staged, and
Yeah.
this was just like rehearsal bits, and it's like, that's fine. But
Yeah. Which, you know, had this been cut down to 30 minutes, some of the funny stuff
Yes.
awesome.
I
didn't
could
write
have just
this down,
watched
but
30 minutes of Jennifer Lewis just cutting sick.
I was going to say, the terrifying part of this whole thing is that little summary that J. Lou does at the end.
Yeah.
Is the best, is like the most compelling part. It's like the guest actor should not be the most compelling part.
No.
And then they give us 2 more people that aren't as compelling. So anyway.
Also, that, you know, you shouldn't have like one of the, like a song that I've never heard before over the end credits that just fucking rocked my world for a moment.
Oopsie. The part where
whistle tones, like that was a
I know,
choice.
oh my God.
Like that was
Choices
a
were
choice. That was
this was
made.
Jen's face when she saw those end credits. I'm pointing to the photo.
Yeah. I know.
And yours. Yeah, mine and yours. Both of them. I did find it interesting how Ben was saying, like, this is the first time she's ever done something with any real artistic expression of her own.
Yeah.
Which I think we kind of touched on it when we watched the movie, but I didn't, like, it helped me kind of maybe forgive some of the odd mistakes that were made in the actual movie.
You mean
like,
the making of the movie?
As in, no, the actual movie. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no, as in having that movie exist. That mistake?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like, this is the kind of thing, like, someone like me would have done at the Butterfly Club my first time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's obviously not been her road. And she's had many privileges along that road.
Yeah.
But with those privileges comes sometimes you can't just put on a little show at the corner theatre.
Yeah.
And maybe the money was a bit of an obstacle, like it hindered her more than anything, because it's like it's made her create something that's visually stunning.
Yeah.
But she's not there yet with the
it's
the
emotionally
substance.
bereft. It is.
Yes, and
it does not mean all the things she thinks it means.
She thinks-
because
yeah.
the problem with this movie is that 80% of it is her explaining what that other movie is about, and I didn't get
Yes,
any of
I
those
know.
things from that movie when I
Yeah.
watched it.
yeah, and just that sort of weird. I feel that weird sort of, the taint, if you will, of thinking on one hand, I'm really glad she's taking risks, as we talked
Yeah.
about last time. Where it's like, yeah, I respect her more for trying something and failing miserably than for just not doing anything.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like, ooh, it's quite a ledge to be out on career-wise at this point.
Yeah.
I can understand why some people just go, no, I'm just going to do the greatest hits. See ya.
Yeah.
But the main thing that surprised me more than anything was, she maybe overplayed her hand at some points, but she was actually pretty involved in this. Like, I didn't expect her to be on that set, doing line reads of the other Zodiacs for Jane Fonda. Like, I just didn't expect that. I thought she'd be off somewhere else.
She was there for the Jane Fonda one and the Jennifer Lewis one, but I don't know how many
Yeah.
of the others she was.
Maybe not. Well, she was there for Sophia, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, but either way, I'm like, okay, you showed up. You did the thing. Like, it wasn't sort of, I almost envisioned it that she might have written a bit of it, and then she, Ashanti recorded the album, Jen rehearsed the dances, and then walked in and was slotted in.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, okay.
No, she was involved. I got that.
You're involved.
Yeah.
It concerns me what is going on in that brain, because it's bonkers.
It's so weird. And she's so convinced that it's saying something that it is not saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and, I get that maybe this is because she's a dancer, and dancers work in a very abstract space.
Yes.
They tell their stories in a very abstract way. Like, if you were just watching that rebound scene as a dance scene, you might get all those things from it that she's trying to put into it. But I don't really interpret dance, so I'm not really amazingly great at working out what's going on. But I feel like maybe because she's so much a dancer, that is her process, and that's how she's explained it. Also, getting a music video guy to direct it, I think if you want the movie to have a narrative thrust and a cohesion to it, he's not the guy to do that.
Yes.
Because he's made some really pretty pictures.
Yeah.
And he's highlighted some really fascinating choreography and weirdly put in some Foley that we didn't understand. But yeah, I don't think he's the guy for that. But then, maybe no one was going to be that guy because her entire concept is too abstract in and of itself.
Yeah. And if anything, like I said, it could just be a really expensive showreel that she can go, well, if we did this, look at what we could do with an actual director and an actual script.
But no one wants to make that. Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, this one barely got made. Like, they only just sold it because it had already been done, and it was probably, I imagine this movie was like her house, which sold for less than she spent on it.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know, they don't reveal these things, but she's flying economy, mate. She's had to sell her house. Like, I don't think this movie
maybe
made back what it was. I don't think it sold for what she was.
I still just, I don't know. I feel like in
I
my head.
I also want to know what happened to that $200,000 for the guru.
Yeah. In my head, Jen, this is, chump change for Jen. Like, oh, this is my pocket. Here's $30 million.
We are in the era of streaming. Like,
yeah, that's
so. This is an era, like, if you are, as Mariah is, the writer of the songs, so you have publishing rights as well as performance rights, then you're making a lot of money. In Jen's
Jen's
case,
not getting that Waiting for Tonight money.
She didn't write Waiting for Tonight, and she barely sang on it. Like it's.
This is why she's flogging 25th anniversary stuff.
I mean,
Makes
we're
sense.
talking about a woman who's made 33 different perfumes. Like, she's not making money from music. Like,
that
her
makes
income
sense.
stream, she's not flogging Dalola because she's.
You know what else I've just thought about?
Mm.
The tour.
The tour has just lost.
The tour. She probably lost a
shitloads of
shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think the house selling is about them breaking up. I think that she actually
it's something
there's some financial difficulty
happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's odd that they do keep kind of popping up.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it that they're separated and they're just trying to navigate a nice way of doing it?
Yeah.
Or is it something else and they're just trying to save face, or we're just reading too much into it and it is, like you said, a financial issue that they don't need
she's
or
lost a
want to put out
shitload
there.
of money on the tour. She spent a shitload of money on this movie that no one watched and no one cared about. And maybe she thought the movie was going to turn into tour tickets and it didn't. But yeah.
And again, it's all wild because we know what a great live performer she is. It's
The live
weird.
shows
It's such a strange.
But again, maybe, she was in rehearsals when she pulled the pin. And maybe she was having, as we've seen here, I'm not 20 anymore. And this is
possibly.
hard. And I could go and do it and hope people turn up on the night, but they're barely half full. And I can barely manage a full show.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as young as I think I am.
And, as we both saw, she, in a show, like,
Oh,
she dances.
she's
Like, it
relentless.
is more than I think I've ever seen. I've seen Janet Jackson, and I don't think she danced. That's full on.
It was such a great show. Yeah. She was so good.
Yeah.
Like songs that I'd never heard of before or never cared about. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. You sort of, because you're not paying attention to the lyrics. So you're just like, oh,
'Cause you're
fun.
like, I don't even know this song, but fuck, look at that. She's remade the Bronx.
Yes.
On
There's the orange
stage.
drink.
There's an orange
can
drink.
see it.
She's wearing a tracksuit pant. A low slung
I still
tracksuit
remember
pant.
you loving the Diamante trackies.
Oh, the Diamante trackies were heaven. Like the whole thing was fun. Like it was.
Yeah. I think there is a documentary about that. We might have to watch that.
Yeah. There's a
many
concert
documentaries.
movie of it. Like there's
Yeah.
I would but this was awful. I mean, it revealed a lot, but not in the way I think she thought that it was. Like it revealed things.
Well, we certainly had things to discuss.
Yeah, it revealed things when she was not. She didn't have her guard up, and when it's
Like reading between the lines, kind of.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I did appreciate her explaining what that other shit film was about, but it still made no fucking sense.
Yeah. It's funny, though, that you say that thing about the dancing, because say Rebound, for example, like my frustration with Rebound was things like the Foley and being slightly overdone, whereas the dance stuff did make sense to me. So that's just interesting, like, because that's what I've done since I was 5. So it's like, oh yeah. And you don't think about the fact sometimes that something that is basically a second language to me may not be to someone else, and you kind of forget about those things.
But I think
when it's just been your life.
The rest of the production was running counter to the dance as well, like the smashing of the glass, the other couples being in the same sort of thing. Like I feel like that was, if that had just been a two-hander, it would have made more sense. And it was just in an empty, cold room. Like I would have probably understood it more and
it's like
resonated
removing
more. Yeah.
Almost like, how normally in a musical you'll have, the, or even say Willy Wonka, you've got like the drab opening and then it becomes fabulous and amazing. Almost do the opposite. Almost have this ritzy narrative where she's all done up and they're at the therapist and with their friends and it's fabulous. And then have the songs just be sparse and literally visually nothing. Area.
Like the
Could have
Broken
been
Like
a
Me
fun
dancing
contrast.
was great. Like that was an amazing moment, but too much Foley and really weird.
Too much Foley. Why are we in a basketball court?
Yeah, I know. But the rebound dancing, if it was just two people connected by that bungee cord, like that is a really powerful image. Yeah. And they've cluttered it.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was saying in terms of the watching just the rehearsal of it. I was like, this is more powerful. So like that kind of hits the nail on the head. I hadn't realized it at the time, but now that you're saying it, to go, oh yeah, that's probably what I enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
Was just singing the dance and
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which in the rehearsal is great because you just get the purity of the dance. You don't,
Yeah.
you know, it's on the green screen. You don't have all the other mess that's been
Yeah.
pasted in later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you're not distracted from her when she does act in it, you know, like the
Yeah.
moments that's like her breaking down. You're like, oh yeah. And even when she walked away from it, she was like, well, I'm glad that's behind me. Like that scene. And it's like, oh yeah, that did mean something to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's, I mean, as she kept saying, it's never been done before. And there's a reason.
but then at the same time, she's like, but Prince did it with Purple Rain, but not really.
Not really.
I'm like, okay, Jen.
That was a
Alright.
story and that had songs in it.
Yeah.
You know, Glitter is closer to Purple Rain than this is.
Yeah.
Realistically.
It's a whole lot.
Get the fuck out of our podcast.
Get the fuck
Get the fuck out of our podcast.
Get the fuck out.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
You tacky regular bitch. Get the fuck right out of my face.
Regular bitch. Almost home. I still am not like. It was much worse than I expected, but it was spectacular. Like it was beautiful.
Oh
shot.
my God. We finally got something that was like so bad that it was good.
Yes.
Like I enjoyed this doco.
I enjoyed
very
so much of it, but for all the wrong
Yeah.
reasons. Like the
Yes,
Ben shade, the J. Lou shade,
Yes.
the Jane Fonda
normally giving us
shade.
stuff. I know. Jen's normally giving us stuff that's not so bad that it's good. It's just kind of bad,
It's
kind
just
of fine.
ordinary.
So it's
like,
camp.
oh, this could have been much better. But
Yeah,
this is
but
like,
had camp moments.
oh my God, the mud and umbrella scene.
Oh, put it in the Smithsonian.
The parking at
It
45
is
degrees
stunning.
to get
Yes, the twink parking.
the twink parking. Like there was so much. You know what? This is possibly now just behind Gigli as my favorite terrible Jennifer Lopez
Jen,
movie.
yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Do you know?
Like inadvertently hysterical.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What is exciting, though, or just a relief, I should say, is initially we would have, because we've gotten to the end of the Regularverse as we know it,
Yes.
and well done, number one.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm very proud. Well done to the listeners.
Thank you. If you know, you know.
Thank you. And we're sorry if you know, you know.
Don't apologize. You wanted to do this.
I'm not sorry. I'll never be sorry. But no, so initially we would have gotten to this point and then started Mariah's World. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, because Jen just kept putting shit out, I had to sprinkle Mariah's World in to make sure that this Mariah podcast still had Mariah in it. Which means that there is relief in knowing that we're getting to the end of the Regularverse, but also that we don't have to now start Mariah's World. Because that would have been a cruel
we didn't know
twist.
it was that bad.
But that's what I mean. We would have gotten to this point and gone, yay, Mariah's World.
I
And
know.
then the world would have come crumbling down.
You know what I am
around
excited
us.
about? Because of this obvious the huge change of direction from this week, that there is more Mariah in Mariah's World. I'm actually excited about watching next week's episode.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 45 minutes of door posing. That is plenty.
That's what I want.
Yes. That's what we all
That's
want.
exactly what I want.
Like there was at least 10 minutes of door posing. There was
Yeah,
Bianca.
absolutely.
We had
Yeah.
spraying Tanaka with champagne in a way that
Yeah.
really shouldn't be
That
seen on
absolutely
television.
happened.
Yeah, there was Mariah walking without shoes on as if she still had shoes on. Like there was so much great Mariah-ness that
Yeah.
and so little Stella.
Yeah, and the Stella we got
Yeah.
was the best version of
Yeah,
Stella.
we got a Stella who
is-
made sense.
She made sense. She was breaking people's knees.
Yeah.
And she might or might not be in love with Mariah. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Yeah. So I'm actually interested in the next episode. Also,
Okay.
don't forget, we're getting Baby Batter 2000 at some point.
What?
Nick Cannon is going to be in an episode.
Oh.
He's
Yes.
like a machine. Like he's the Baby Better 2000.
He is. Well, it turns out he's also Jennifer Hudson's father.
What?
Because he's got 27 children, apparently.
Oh, that's right. She's got 412.
And I was like,
brothers
is Nick Cannon her father? Is that what's happening here? Wild.
It's mad. Do you know Stellan Skarsgård has 8 kids?
Who?
You know he's like a really old
He's
Swedish
what?
actor. He's in everything.
Oh, is he the father of the hot ones?
Yes. He's
Maybe
got.
actually.
There are 8 of them.
Oh, many of them are hot.
Many of them.
The ones I've
hot,
seen.
Yes.
Yeah, the ones I've seen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Skarsgård man.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Should we get the actual fuck out of here?
We should. What's on the horizon next week? Just more Mariah's World. That's.
We got Mariah's World, and then are you ready for what? Do you want to know what will come after Mariah's
Do
World?
I want
or
to know
do you
what's
wanna
coming after Mariah's
be
World?
horrified?
Like I've got
You know
to
what, I'm gonna
prepare
tell-
for it, but
You know what? I will tell because I think other people may want to be involved.
right.
So let's give them some warning.
Okay.
We are tasked in the same vein as we did in Mariah's World to come up with the ultimate J-Lo album
Oh fuck.
where you have to try and make a cohesive, decent Gen record. But as a little fun extra, you also get to make a 5-track EP of her worst.
Oh my god.
And that's also a challenge because there's so many.
There's so many.
So
I can't just
the
play
album,
enough 5 times.
No, the album is 12 tracks with 3 bonus tracks.
Yeah.
And that's the album you actually want to hear.
Right.
And then a little 5-track EP of like her actual absolute Nicole Kidman skin at the bottom of the barrel. Bad. You know?
Fleshlight album.
The
Fleshlight EP.
Fleshlight sessions.
Zac Efron
Yes.
Fleshlight session.
I really want to call it something that now, the Fleshlight EP. Fleshlight.
It will make no sense
Oh my God,
because
it's
next
terrible.
time we do this, we've forgotten what even that joke is.
Absolutely. Or we'll ruin it by talking about it too much.
Yeah, like our OnlyFans joke.
Yeah, not even funny. We're not even laughing
Not
anymore.
even laughing at the fan.
Well, you are. Yeah, you are. And I'm laughing at you. That's how it works. Oh my god, it was horrific, wasn't it?
It was really bad.
I hope people are okay. So yes, get ready because in a couple of weeks' time, we will be doing the ultimate J-Lo
Ultimate
album
J-Lo.
and the Fleshlight sessions
And the Fleshlight
EP. So I'm curious to see if anyone can come up with a J-Lo album that we'll actually listen to.
Oh yeah, if you have a whole bunch of J-Lo tracks, please let us know. Give us your playlist.
Yes.
We would love to hear them. If you can stand it. As we always say at the end of a J-Lo album in the Regularverse, we go, which is your favorite, if you can stand it.
All right.
Oh, that is very exciting. I'm thrilled.
It is.
I'm thrilled at
It is
this
a thrill.
prospect of I'm not really. I was hoping that all
Well, that's why I thought I'd give you the EP so you can get your frustration out.
it's not gonna
A
help
DP
either.
of EP, if you will.
An EPDP.
Yeah.
Fleshlight DP.
Yeah. See how many you can get in the Fleshlight. Come on. Gather round.
Oh my god, I'm losing my mind.
I think we should just go.
We probably should, but I'm stuck here now. I can't move.
You don't want to move.
All right, we'll see you. Oh my god, next Mariah Monday for Mariah's World.
You sound so defeated.
I am.
Oh my god.
Bye, Lamely.
Bye.